What is going on, YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists, and welcome to this episode 11 of the Alien RPG core rules, where I'm looking at the core rulebook. And as usual, we start with a quote. You'll notice I'm not in the picture for this particular video. I felt my time in space had come to an end. So you're stuck with the picture from the game itself. Anyway, chapter 11, which is what we're on, is about alien species, and like I say, it starts with a quote, and the quote comes from Peter Wayland. And the quote is, "The Titan Prometheus wanted to give mankind equal footing with the gods. For that he was cast from Olympus. Well, my friends, the time has finally come for his return." Ooh, excellent. I love the quotes. I absolutely love them. So, looking through the alien species section, it's got a tiny little bit on humans, which ironically, make up 99% of the races of life in the game. I'll read a little bit from that. Actually, I will read. It's small enough to read out. It says, "Humans are arrogant sons of bitches. We leaped into space thinking we'd make it our own. Sure, some of us believed, hoped even, that we'd find other life along the way, but we were absolutely certain we'd always be at the top of the food chain. Our gods were dead and we were the new gods. Well, that all turned out to be far from true. Our gods may or may not be gone, but they definitely left us a few nasty surprises to humble us. Living things that not only go bump in the night, but also eat you from the inside out. There is life out here, and it wants us all dead. Here's a little sampling of what you can expect to find lurking in the dark." Now, I'm not going to go into every single species, obviously, but it starts with the engineers. So it talks a bit about them, and then it tells you their physical traits, their architecture. Then it talks about accelerated evolution. Agent A0-3959X-91-15. A genetic accelerant created by an ancient race of alien engineers. Agent A0 blah blah blah, aforementioned, is a black tar-like substance with both destructive and life-generating capabilities. While it exists in a viscous liquid form, it atomizes when released in the atmosphere, killing or altering all living things unlucky enough to be within range. While the full extent of its potential is unknown, any corporation that finds out about it wants it. The only thing known for certain about Agent blah 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 and its derivatives is that its mutagenic capabilities are responsible for the creation of abominations, Xenomorphs and other abhorrent creatures. Simply put, any living thing that comes into direct contact with the black goo will either die horribly, give birth to monsters, or become a monster themselves. Tread lightly and look underfoot for alien spores. You find this in the modules that are out there already, or at least one of the modules that are out there already, Chariot of the Gods, so you will come across this. We come across another quote by David 8, says, "A superior species, no doubt." Talks about the technology, engineer biosuits, engineer rebreathers, sarcophagi, holography. There's all manner of things it talks about on that. Then we come on to the Xenomorphs themselves. It's got general rules for them, and then it breaks them down. Yet another quote. "Still you don't understand what you're dealing with, do you? Perfect organism. Its structural perfection is matched only by its hostility. You admire it. I admire its purity, a survivor, unclouded by conscience, remorse, or delusions of morality. That's of course Ash and Lambert from the first Alien movie. I just had to say that. When I come across, I'm a sucker for quotes. Now the important thing to mention here is, and it advises you, whilst playing this game, use as many quotes and references as you can. It adds to the feel of the game and adds to making you feel like you are playing almost an Alien movie. That's what it feels like, and that's the point of it. It wants you to feel that way. Right, so the Xenomorphs, it breaks, and we've got Neomorphs, stage 1 neomorphic egg sacs. Again, with all these, it gives you its stats and physical attributes, and blah blah blah. It's attacks. So the Neomorph, so stage 1 neomorphic egg sac, stage 2 neomorphic motes, stage 3 neomorphic bloodburster, stage 4 neophyte juvenile neomorph, and then we come on to stage 5 adult neomorph, and of course the attacks it gets more and more deadly as it goes on. And there are different ones as well. A Xenomorph XX121, known by a variety of names. It's horrifically bizarre alien Xenomorph XX121 is an endoparasitic life form with a unique life cycle. The alien shifts from egg to parasitic facehugger to embryonic chestburster to adult creature and beyond before beginning the cycle anew. While it has been classified inaccurately as either Invictus raptus or Linguafaida archironis by the few in the scientific community to have observed the alien and survived, recent research seems to indicate that Xenomorph XX121 is actually comprised of 2 separate species. The facehugger, scientific name after that in brackets, that inseminates its host, and the rapidly maturing chestburster creature, again another scientific terminology, form of reference for it, that results from that act. Both operating together in a symbiotic relationship. Allegedly blind, the alien still has keen senses and can detect even the slightest movement. These biomechanoid, I can't say that word. These biomechanoid creatures shed their cells and replace them with polarized silicon, essentially growing their own refractive armor. They have highly caustic concentrated acid for blood and deadly prehensile tails. Immensely strong in their adult forms, blah blah blah, or soldier can easily lift a man by the head and crush his skull in his hands. As to their origins, no one can be certain. Some believe them to be biological weapons created by some bygone race, possibly the enigmatic and godlike engineers, while others believe they are a naturally evolved species that the engineers themselves worshipped. Some religious cults take that a step further, believing the aliens were sent here by gods to exact divine retribution on humanity for leaving our solar system and daring to enter the heavens. Still others believe that humanity had a hand in the creature's creation and that they are a corporate experiment run amok. What is for certain is that they are dangerous to everyone. They are a parasitic plague that is working its way across the frontier, and Weyland-Yutani, as well as other corporations, want to find a way to control and weaponize them for profit. Of course they do. Goes into its special abilities that you need for the game. After that, then the different stages of it. Egg, face hugger, chest burster, and so on. There's some great artwork here in this book. The stalker, the scout drone, the soldier, worker, sentry. They're all attached to a hive mind, don't forget, the Praetorian, Crusher, and the Queen. And it talks about the hive, the swarm, harvesters. These are all different lion worms. These are different aliens you can encounter, of course. Tanakan scorpionids. That sounds interesting, doesn't it? And I suppose from that point on, humans' best friend. When humanity conquers a brave new world, they bring their animal companions with them. And with good reason. Pets are incredibly important to the psychological well-being of long-haul starship crews, and every ship should have one. While far from common, Typical flesh and blood animals found on the frontier include dogs, cats, mice, reptiles, fish and birds. Additionally, synthetic copies of both mundane and exotic Earth animals have been produced by a number of companies. Rats and insects have stowed away on many a spacecraft, spreading disease and altering the ecology of alien worlds. Apes are still used in laboratory settings, and cattle, sheep, horses and pigs have all been transplanted to extrasolar farming colonies. It doesn't mention it, but you could, sky is the limit with an alien creature that you create, isn't it? Of course. But that does bring us to the end of that section 11, alien species. The next section, which we will look at, is campaign play. So we're looking at modes of play from here on in, and we are almost at the end of the core rulebook. Thanks ever so much for joining me on this episode. Perhaps I should have done it more like this sort of podcast format from the beginning. It doesn't matter though, the information is still valid. Thank you for joining me. Remember, all brushes lead to war. I'll see you on the next video. I'm excited to get this finished as a complete project. Bye for now, folks. Bye bye.